What a way to start a show with Denisha Lane for 1999.
Oh, back up there in just a minute.
20 bones from Denisha Lane. Fantastic. We'll read that comment in a minute, Denisha. Don was so enamored with that comment, he just, wanted to put it up there. Ladies and gentlemen, my name is Johnny Bottles. Welcome to the Squared Circle Maniacs Pro Wrestling Podcast. The man to my left is Dr. Don Wayne, the neckbeard psychologist from Twitter, and he's been known to break up a space or two. I'm not saying nothing. It's out there. It's another space destroyed. Happened over the weekend. It's out there. You got to look for it. You got to search for it. It was a work of art. I heard it live. Denisha Lane for 1999. Hey, Don and Bottles. Dynamite sucked yesterday. 4 hours wasted of everyone's time, and Collision was bad. NXT beat them in the ratings. The glamorous Mariah May made her NXT debut. I was so happy to see it. AEW sickos cry. And they are crying. They are crying. And we're not sold on the Mariah May name. I hear that's been copyrighted by AEW. So they're going to have to find her a new name.
I heard it was going to be something like Judith June or something along those lines.
Judy. Like Kelly, Judy. July.
I mean, makes sense to me.
Julie July. They ought to just call her Marilyn May.
John, I see you up there, buddy. I'm going to get to you in just a minute. I promise. I want to give Denisha her time, though. But she's right. I think we might as well talk about it real quick. NXT did 684,000.
Yes, they did.
Pretty good number.
And that was with that was with no billboarding of Mariah May. No one knew she was coming at all. That was a big surprise.
We might as well talk about Mariah May debuted on NXT now because I can tell Denisha's ready to jump right into this. By the way, thank you all for watching. Thank you very much. We appreciate it. Super Chat's open. As you can see, we're off and running like $1,000 shot.
Boom.
Mariah May debuted.
Yes.
I was told she wasn't going to be available until the end of the summer. We shouldn't be looking for her anytime soon, Johnny Bottles. That's what all the dirt sheets said. That's what they kept telling us online. She's booked through the summer. She can't possibly show up.
That's right. She's still contracted to AEW up until September. That's what they was told. Everyone said that. And sure enough, they were wrong again. Mariah May played it smooth. She played it fabulously. She said she was on vacation when people were asking her on Twitter, what's the matter? A girl can't take a vacation? And she posted all these old pictures of her at a WrestleMania, hugging a Triple H cardboard cutout from 2017. And she was just stirring up everything. She even posted the fact that they gave her a shitty hotel room. AEW did. Everyone else got a nice hotel room but her.
Yeah, I'm glad you brought that up. That was kind of some of the information that's coming out of the women now, even that are still there, is getting kind of crazy. Some of the comments that they're putting out there. Abdullah Oblongata, somebody asked her, do you still wrestle in AEW? She said apparently not, or something along those lines.
She said, no, not really. No, not really.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, so there's some shots going on. We're going to talk about last night's AEW a little bit later on. But it was a shock to me that Mariah showed up as early as she did because, like I said, we kept getting told she's not coming. She's not coming. Keep waiting. And when she showed up, here's what got my attention. The NXT fans, look, if you're going to NXT shows, if you're watching that product, you probably are part of the IWC. Would it be safe to say?
Absolutely. Absolutely.
So as soon as she showed up, they didn't say her name, but everybody in the building knew exactly who she was right away. Everybody recognized the face. Everybody was excited. So she got her moment, right? And this sort of leads me into my segue of what this entire show is about. Hired or fired, the IWC is going to complain. She got her dream opportunity to work at the WWE. Right. This is what she said she's wanted from day one. This was her in-game goal. I have seen some of the dumbest comments in the past 48 hours since this happened. I can't believe some of the idiot comments I'm seeing. Someone said they believe in AEW, that she hit her ceiling. Hit her ceiling as your women's champion in one of the biggest women's feuds you've ever had. She's hit her ceiling, Bottles, is what they're saying. That's as far as she's going to go with that comment.
Let me tell you this. Let me say this. If you look at the history of women coming into the AEW where they were stars before in other promotions. Now, granted, the Japanese promotion Stardom, where Mariah May came from, it's not really that well known in America unless you're a neckbeard in the basement. But that's where she came from. And they come into AEW, and he uses them for like 2 months. Championship program. You're just right to a title. You're right to a title. And then you either, if he sees something in you, he'll give you the title, or you'll lose and you'll go to Collision. Or you could be like Snooki Perazzo and lose and be shunted off the Ring of Honor. With
Never seen again.
Valkyrie. Never seen again, except in picture-in-picture. And
who
she
is the
correct.
Ring of Honor champion, by the way?
The female champion is Athena.
Athena, who had her minute in the sun with Mercedes Moné, which, by the way, what I've been saying for over a year now still stands true. Any woman that works in a main event angle with Mercedes Moné disappears and you never see them again. They just get put away somewhere. So everybody telling me that she's not that bad, she is the dreck. Once she's had you, once she spits you out, it's over. You're never seen from again. It's taken, what's her name? Female, starts with a W. Why can't I think of her name? Willow Nightingale. It's taken her over a year to put herself back on the main stage. So don't tell me that you're better off.
And she wasn't even used last night in 4 hours time.
Right.
Not even used, which is just ridiculous, I think. But so if someone said she hit her ceiling in AEW, Mariah May,
which is preposterous.
But I think the way they're using these women stars, yeah, I think she did hit her ceiling. Camille, gone. Megan Bain is relegated to a pre-show now, and some kind of angle with Julia Hart and not Julia Hart, with Penelope Ford and who's she feuding with now? Anna Jay, Tay Conti, Tay Mello, whatever you want to call her. She made her big return. Sammy Guevara's wife made her big return yesterday, Don, at Fyter Fest.
Yeah.
For a
Mark K says, gents, he thought Britt Baker was the ceiling.
Britt Baker was the ceiling at one point in time. Then she fell through the ceiling, and now she's in the basement. And now Mercedes Moné is the new ceiling. So Megan Bain was jerking a curtain at a pay-per-view, the last pay-per-view that he had. She just challenged Toni Storm at one pay-per-view for the belt, and the next pay-per-view she's in the pre-show. And some stupid ass feud.
Thank you very much, Mark, for the $2. Salute SCM. That was a dry ass steak last night. Dude, that steak that Mercedes, we're going to talk about that too, but we'll just touch on it here.
Who eats a steak?
Dude, why did it look like it had been thrown on the ground and rubbed in the dirt before it got brought out? It looked charred as hell.
An old shoe, an old boot would have been more appetizing than that steak. You saw Toni Storm's face when she tried to bite into it. It was horrendous. Glenn Taylor's got one for his Bubba. Oh,
hold on. Challenger John was up first, yes.
As you know,
I went to SmackDown in Knoxville, a speed match between Berto, the Santos faction, and Kit Wilson of Pretty Deadly. The dark match was Candice LeRae versus Michin. Michin, yes.
Michin.
Okay.
Yes.
Berto and Candice won. By the way, Challenger John, I'm glad you brought that up. Let us know what you thought of the show. Bring up some of the parts of the show you thought were. What's it like going to a 3-hour SmackDown with commercials? Because the last one I went to, they only had 2 commercials, right? I'm sorry, they only had 2 hours, but the commercials they took me out of it. My son fell asleep. I said, this is the last commercial show I'm going to. I salute you if you could do it. I can't do it though, man. I just can't.
This wasn't 3 hours because they recorded Speed, the Speed matches. They did that. They had a dark match with Candice LeRae, and I'm not sure if they did a WWE, what do you call it? The main event. WWE main event. Karrion Kross and Scarlett was just on the main event last week.
Were they really?
Yes, they were.
God, I didn't even realize they were still doing it. It's really weird for me as a wrestling fan because it used to be I got up Saturday morning, Sunday night, Saturday night, and Monday, and then that was it. You got like 3 or 4 shows and it was over. Now you can't get away from it anymore, man. It's crazy. It's just crazy to me.
Don and I were just talking about how much time do you devote? We're going to ask the chat this. Let's do a poll in the chat. And everybody, I'm not going to put a formal poll up with pick A, B, C, or D. Just go ahead and give us how many hours a week do you watch professional wrestling? Because it's on every night. And it's also streaming.
Right. It's almost every night, yes.
You've got YouTube, you've got Dynamite, you've got Collision, you've got Raw, you got SmackDown, you've got NXT, you've got, like we just talked about, the main event. You got LFG, which just ended its season. It's about to start up again in a few months. You've also have Evolve on Tubi. So how
Right.
and
Saturday's Collision.
Wait a minute. TNA.
No, I know they're out there somewhere.
On Thursday nights tonight. MLW. I'm not sure we can watch MLW, but a Ring of Honor. If anybody's subscribing to that, Ring of Honor. And the NWA, if anyone's watching that on YouTube. Who's got time for all this?
I have no idea.
We couldn't even make it through that show last night.
No, I bailed like a motherfucker. I couldn't do that shit no more. 9:30, I said, I'm out. There's something else on somewhere that's not going to assault my eyes as bad, which I was glad I left. But back to the
8:15, I was out, pal. I was out cold. 8:15. I told Don.
Which was kind of, it's funny somebody put a pillow out like that.
He goes, what? Don, I watched the first 15 minutes, and Mumbles Ospreay was out in the ring. And he was talking about all kinds of stuff with Tony Schiavone's toupee, and I was just mesmerized by that, and then I fell asleep. Glenn Taylor in 1999. Thank you, Glenn. May's appearance was great. She said little and worked the crowd to want to see what she does next. AEW takes notes. Take notes. By the way, taking a note from Mariah May, she never mentioned her name.
Never once.
She said, I finally arrived, and I'm here to become the next champion, yes. While all the women were fighting over, their shot in line in the middle of the ring. So JC Jane is just a placeholder, I would believe, for someone who's going to win the belt, and then Mariah May will face that person. I don't think Mariah May is going to go right in and take the belt from JC Jane.
And Glenn, you are correct, sir. She didn't say anything because she didn't have to say a whole lot. And that's sort of where we're getting it to is if you're just going to debut or if you're just going to challenge, sometimes it's just good to come out there, say a couple of lines and walk away. That shit that opened AEW last night was just atrocious. So you're sort of highlighting where we're going to go when we start talking about AEW. The open of that show was awful. And yes, Denisha is saying that next year there's another 4-hour show of AEW. So
next week, not next year, next week, pal.
Sorry, next week, yes.
I don't think they're going to have it next year personally, but that's a whole nother story. That's a whole nother story.
But I did want to talk about the Mariah May coming out. It was a big deal. I'm glad to see her here. Let's see where it goes from here. Here's the other part about this, which I think is just utterly ridiculous, is the AEW diehards. Yes. Why would they put her on NXT? They didn't put any. They put so many because she's not ready. They know she's not ready. They got to teach her how to cut their kind of promo, how to work their style of match, how to get over with the fans their way instead of the way that Tony Khan likes to do it. Because believe me, there's a huge difference in how they get stars over, how they wrestle, and what they're allowed to do. Tony Khan just says, everybody go out there and do your shit.
Yeah.
Over here, it's like save something for later.
Here's what I heard. If you're a new talent, you have a meeting with Shawn Michaels. You're brought in. He asks you where you want to start. Do you want to start at NXT? Do you want to go to the main roster right away? What do you want to do? Because they asked that of Julia. They asked that of Stephanie Vacker. Julia said, I want to go to NXT because my English isn't that good. And they teach you how to speak English in these classes at NXT. Stephanie Vacker first said she wanted to go to Raw. And then she thought about it. And the next day she called Shawn Michaels and said, I want to go to NXT to teach the English. So
this is what you've heard.
This is what I've heard. I heard this from her. I heard this in an interview with Bubba Ray Dudley that he did.
But do you think, hold on, before you go down this path, I don't think they treat everybody that way. I really don't. I don't think they treat everybody that way.
Anyone who's got a name coming into the company.
But what if they got to change your name? Let's see what I'm saying.
Well,
if we got to change your name, we're probably going to have to start from scratch, and we've got to go somewhere with this. We can't just throw you on TV and say you're Judith June when you were Mariah May. Like, you've got to sort of put your footprint down for a minute.
And I would think that if you start at NXT, it's a good couple of weeks where you're indoctrinated into how they set the cameras up, the positions of the cameramen outside the ring, inside the ring.
By the way, you can look at the hard cam side here.
Yes, there's actually people over there.
Fans over here, so don't be surprised. No.
Not at NXT, though. There's just a few.
I know. It's a joke, Bottles. Get back on the joke train.
Okay, I'm on the joke
train. The other part of Mariah May getting booked on this, the neckbeards were like, you're a traitor. How dare you? I can't believe you leave us to go over to that company. They're the biggest wrestling promotion
In the world.
ever in the world.
Yes.
Where do you want her to go? Where do you want her to go? You just want her to stay there. None of you know what she's got in her heart. None of you know what she wants to do. This is what she wants. It's insane to me that this is how they're acting in the aftermath of all of this. The girl got her dream job, and they're genuinely bitter ex. It's like a bitter ex-girlfriend or boyfriend. I can't believe you're dating him or her now. I'm nothing like that person. I know, bitch.
That was a lot of that going on. A lot of that was going on in NXT, pal. See Core Jade for that.
Here we go. Challenger John, man. You could have just put it up, brother. I'd have thrown it up there. No problem. I asked you the question.
Crowd was hot at the beginning. Second hour dragged. And when Zelina came out, you could hear silence, much like what it is on TV. Pick back up on the men's Money in the Bank qualifier. Cody, Cena, Jay, Logan promo was great. The show was too long. Of course it was.
Yeah.
Of course it was.
This is the complaint, man. This is what everybody's been saying.
Yeah.
It's 3 hours is too long. It's just too damn long, man.
It's like a pay-per-view. It's like a pay-per-view.
Yes, but it's commercial filled. Every 8 minutes, there's a commercial coming at you. Well, you get your open of 15 minutes and it's commercial.
Ari Emanuel got to make that money. You got to make that money, Don.
That's crazy to me.
People keep calling it WWE. It's not really WWE anymore. It's TKO.
I'm glad you just said this. Oh, I'm so glad you said this. Let me bring this up to you real quick.
Honey, Don's glared at me. Go ahead.
I got into it with an idiot yesterday that tried to tell me.
You
imagine that. Never. I had a moron, a panty on his head wearing jackass try to tell me that the WWE of today is the same company that was the WWF in 1999. It's the same company that was WWE in 2005. I'm like, do you not understand how businesses work? Do you think Turner Home Entertainment is the same company today once it merged with AOL? It's not the same company. Different people are running the show. Different people are in control. They move buildings, bottles, for God's sakes. It's so damn different. They move buildings. There's different management. There's a different way of business philosophy. It's not the same company in any shape or form at all. It's insane to me that people cannot understand that WWE is part of this conglomerate corporation now. It's going to be run much differently. Case in point, the Miz is about to be out too. They're not going to re-sign him apparently because he was one of Vince's guys that apparently is making like $2.5 million. It's a different company now.
With these guys, these wrestlers, as they age out, the Miz is a millionaire. He's got 3 mansions. Okay, his whole family's well off. He doesn't have to go and work another day in his life with the money he's got bankrolled from his. How many years has he been in there? 17 years, 16 years in WWE. Was it 2005 when he came in? So he's been there almost 20 years.
Something like that. Yeah, he's been there for a long time.
Long time. And with that being said, he's 44 years old. Okay,
he has other jobs lined up.
MTV, The Real World.
Right.
He started there. He's going to be hosting American Gladiators on Amazon Home Video.
However long that lasts.
And with the track record of American Gladiators, not too long. But at least he's got his foot in the door actually hosting a show. And who knows? Maybe 10 years down the road, Don, 12 years down the road, the price is right. Here's your host, Mike Mizanin. Why not?
It might be.
He could.
Or maybe he keeps the name Miz because that's what everybody knows him as. And they work out a deal like, okay, I'll give you a little kickback for the money because you're why this name is famous. It's not just me. You are a huge corporation. So Warrior JWR has been sitting here patiently. What do you guys think of Dick Flair and his classless comments about JR? And how is Karrion Kross not in Money in the Bank? Which is where you guys are leading us all down these rabbit holes we're going to talk about, but thank you. Ric Flair is clearly back on the sauce bad. Yesterday, he got drunk on another rant and rave. I was like, he's going to call somebody an Egyptian any minute. You just wait. Somebody's getting called an Egyptian. You just wait.
I've got a couple of those tweets that he deleted. I saved them that we can I bookmarked him so we can go over him if he hasn't.
If you've got the JR, bring it up, because that was just classless, man. I don't know what he was thinking. I don't know what the hell's wrong with him. JR is in the fight for his life. I'm praying for the guy. I hope he comes out of this on the other end fine and healthy. But holy shit, man.
He said,
here it is.
Ric Flair said, Jim Ross will always be Jim Ross, seeking attention. Focus on your recovery at JR's barbecue. And that was 5:16 p.m. happy hour on May 31st.
Just shit-faced already.
Yes.
And as far as Karrion Kross, I'm glad you brought this up because this was another topic we had. Karrion Kross not being in the Money in the Bank is kind of eye-opening, to say the least, because he's all over the place on social media. It sort of feels like he knows, I got to make a name for myself because every gimmick and everything they've put me in has sucked. I'm better off getting my name out there on my own, which, by the way, like Drew McIntyre did a year ago, he is absolutely killing social media right now. This version of Karrion Kross, I want to see that guy on my TV. I don't want to see him every now and then. I want to see that guy every Monday. I want to see what that dude's up to. And he's still on television, and he's still highlighted. I'm not saying that he's not, but the rumor floating is his contract's coming up.
Yes, and we all know that TKO, if his contract's coming up in 6 months, TKO doesn't start the Vince McMahon trials of negotiating 9 to 6 months before your contract's up. They get you off guard like 1 month before your contract's up to put pressure. That's a pressure tactic to get you to resign.
Yeah.
That's why they do it. That's why they do it. They're a entertainment. TKO started, what I say was Endeavor was the company that owns TKO. Endeavor is it used to be a big time, I forgot the actual name of it, a famous talent agency. That Ari Emanuel was just an agent. He worked his way up and became the guy who ran that agency. Then he bought it. Then he bought Endeavor. Stockholders involved, public company. They bought TK. They formed TKO with the WWE and UFC, and this is what we've got. So he knows how to negotiate.
Different company. It's not the WWE, WWF
it's not
anymore.
The WWE anymore. Nope, it's a totally different company. And he knows how to. They know how to negotiate entertainment contracts with actors, actresses, producers, TV stars, the whole 9 yards. And this is what they do. It's not a professional wrestling type negotiation like Vince used to do. And everyone's used to Vince, the way he used to run things, and it's not like that anymore. But I will say one thing about Karrion Kross. Great promos. Social media is great. When the bell rings.
Well, look, I'm not going to say that he's the most exhilarating guy ever, but I am saying I want to see more of that guy on television. You know what I mean? The backstage promos he's been doing has been great. That's what I want to see more of. That's just me. I want to talk about that real quick. Because we also got to talk about Ron Killings, a.k.a. R-Truth.
Yes.
I have never seen such fake outrage as I did this week when it was announced that they would not be renewing his contract. Which, by the way, Bottles, let's explain. Well, I'm pretty sure, people watching our program know what the difference is in being released and not renewed. But let's, for the neckbeards that hate watch the show, explain it. If I choose not to renew your contract and you have fulfilled said contract, I'm not releasing you. I'm just choosing not to re-sign you. Huge difference. It's like if I hire a cleaning service for a year and next June the contract comes to term. Well, are you going to sign us up for another year? No, I think I'm going to try somebody else. I'm not firing them. You're now able to go and take on another contract or another client if you like, because our obligation is filled on this end.
Well,
he's not released.
They offered him a new contract for
Allegedly.
less money than he was making.
Allegedly.
Supposedly, he was making $550,000 a year.
He was a Vince guy, from what I read.
He was a Vince guy. $550,000 a year is what he was making, appearing on TV sporadically. The same people that are crying over R-Truth said 2 weeks before Saturday night's main event.
I know.
Why is this guy facing the champ, John Cena? Why is this guy who's just a jobber in WWE? He's done nothing of note. Why is this guy facing Cena? A comedy act, a comedy wrestler.
And now the fake outrage is just all over there. I can't believe this is happening. You son of a bitches. Stop. No one is owed anybody anything in this world, especially in the world of entertainment. You are worth what someone is willing to pay you. Who knows what the contract was? I'm not even going to speculate on it. But it was enough for them both to say, okay, we're all going to go our separate ways. It's not that big of a deal.
Right.
It's not going to end the world. He's not broke. He's not poor. I get the very distinct feeling with Ron Killings that he has done very well for himself as far as saving his money and putting away a nest egg.
Supposedly, if you look it up online, the man's worth $5 million. Supposedly.
Yeah, he's not.
He's been there 20 years. He's not hurting.
Yeah, he's done well
and
for himself.
if he wanted to stay there, he could have just signed a new contract and worked for less money if he wanted to stay there.
But he says, hey, I think my time is worth this much. You don't. We're going to go our separate ways. There's no ill will here. It is what it is. Just like Carlito.
Make $2,000. He could go in the Indies
right.
and make $5,000 a match, $2,000 a match for everybody wants to pay him in the Indies and work 3 times a week. And you got it.
And Carlito is apparently his contract is coming to term. And
2
people
years.
are like, why? Yeah. Why are you letting him go too? All he does is he spits an apple. He interrupts a match. He hasn't wrestled hardly at all since he's come back.
Nope.
It was a good spot when he came back. It was a good feel-good moment. He's not going to be here long-term. Why can't people understand this stuff, man? It's crazy to me.
He's now the heavyweight champ of the World Wrestling Council promotion down in Puerto Rico that his father owns, and which one day he will own when his father passes away. So there you go. He's not hurting.
By the way, thank you all for watching. Please like and subscribe. Hit the notifications button. I didn't think we were going to go down this rabbit hole for so long, but lo and behold, here we are.
Who didn't?
I did want to talk about.
Who didn't we talk about?
I don't know. Who were we missing?
The Miz. We talked about The Miz. Yeah, we talked about Karrion Kross. I think we covered them all. Yeah.
Didn't talk about one guy.
Who's that?
Goldberg.
Goldberg's jacked up, pal. He's hurt. Did
you see? Yeah, he said he apparently has been he's so beat up from working out, getting ready for his last match that he could barely move the other day. He said in this interview, he knows the time and date of his last match.
Yes,
he's coming back somewhere. He's coming. Who do you think? Do you think it's Gunther?
I don't know, but he's going to wrestle down in Georgia. So his whole family, that's the agreement they made. He's going to wrestle in Georgia so that the whole family can see.
I thought he was living in San Diego now.
No, I thought he was living in Atlanta, Georgia.
No, he's in San Diego.
You sure about that?
I'm sure about that. Unless he moved recently. When they did the show on his garage, it was in San Diego. Pablo, the real one. Hey, buddy, how you doing? Says no truth, no Carlito. So no more comedy in WWE. I don't buy that. There's always a guy that comes along that can make you laugh. You got Sammy. Sammy's always good for a laugh out of nowhere. Dom can do it. Yeah. You got some guy.
Heyman.
I ain't too worried about that aspect.
Don froze up.
What else you got over there, Bottles? I know you got some news and notes.
I've got a few odds and ends.
I figured you had some stuff pulled up there.
A young man named Juan Carlos said, lately Fed fans are asking questions about AEW and wanting to watch this new company, AEW. Should we gatekeep this promotion or let them in? Tony Khan said, please gatekeep nothing, sir. Please welcome these people to AEW with arms wide open, like Scott Stapp said in Creed.
Like arms wide open. Something lyrics in there. You gotta walk down the stairs. Something like that. I can't remember his songs.
WBD. While we're talking about AEW.
Well, hold on. You're not going to the gatekeep bullshit. No one's asking about AEW. The ratings show no one's asking about AEW. They did 655,000 people last night with the hockey game going on. That was a good hockey game. I'm not going to say it's not, but let's face it. If you're watching hockey, you're not a wrestling fan generally. That's like the, what the hell was that? Somebody said, well, they were up against stiff NCAA competition as well. If you're watching college softball and baseball, I will almost guarantee you don't watch wrestling. Right. If it's on and nothing else is happening that night, you don't have to stain your deck. Maybe you'll put it on to fall asleep like Bottles did. But other than that, they're not tuning. Honey, I don't know what to do. The Tennessee softball game is on, but so is AEW. Oh, what do I do tonight? Fuck off, idiots. Nobody's watching that shit.
Nobody's watching that garbage. Unbelievable. 380, by the way, for Collision. 380,000 for Collision.
Yeah, that ain't good.
Which is worse what they did last Saturday.
That ain't good.
Not good at all. Warner Brothers Discovery is entering a UFC rights battle, and it could shake up AEW's Collision's future on TNT. Can you imagine that?
Oh my goodness.
Do they have the money, Don,
I don't think
to
so.
negotiate with them? They just, Zaslav wanted raised $52 million annually, and the board of directors voted him down. The stockholders said, no way are we doing this. So Zaslav just threw up his hands like, what the hell? Am I not doing a good job?
No, you suck.
He's horrible.
Everything you do
horrible.
is ass, buddy. You haven't done a damn thing right
Horrible.
since you've been here.
He did one thing right. He canceled Rampage.
Well, that he did.
Did do that.
But no, the rumor going around is that Warner Brothers Discovery is about to get, if this movie Superman does not absolutely make them like $1 billion, they're going to start, there's rumors flying that at the end of the year, they're going to start selling off pieces of this company. Here's the movie division. Here's the television. Oh my. Right in the stinker. And I'm telling you, that's what's going to happen. They're going to start selling pieces of this one little sliver at a time. And then where does that leave AEW and Tony Khan? Bottles is having a good time on that one.
Right in the what? Right. No, don't say it again. No, that's it. Don't say it again.
I'm just saying.
Don't say it again.
Quiet, we're on the air.
Yeah, we're on the air now. That's keep a civil tongue in your head. Good.
I did.
Oh, God.
There's something I got for you that just blew my mind.
What's that?
The Young Bucks are looking to buy Pro Wrestling Guerrilla.
Good. Maybe they'll get out of AEW and make the show watchable.
Could you imagine if they bought Pro Wrestling Guerrilla and just left Tony Khan? We got to go now. We appreciate your time.
They've soaked the man for a lot of money. They can invest money into Pro Wrestling Guerrilla and maybe have that be an alternate, a wrestling alternative for Tubi or some other streaming service that gets virtually no audience.
Right.
So
I just want to bring that up real quick. What else you got for me? Because I do want to talk about Raw real quick. I'm not going to go into depth on this. Bottles?
I'm
okay.
going through my bookmarks right now, buddy. Hang on a second.
I thought somebody said they lost you. I think it's because you went off the air and were bent over for a while. Threw them off.
Good Lord Almighty.
There was
you took me by surprise with that, right? The stinker. People have been saying AEW offered Mariah May $1 million. WWE offered her around $225,000. And Sean Ross Sapp came out of nowhere and said, source, and the offender here was your man Air Gold.
I'm not getting into that. I saw that. I'm not going to comment on that jackass. I'm not giving him the time of day. He's a moron. He got played by Sean Ross Sapp once before. I'm not going down that rabbit hole. Nobody knows what she was actually offered. The guy's a complete click on me link. He's an asshole.
Right.
Complete asshole.
And Vince McMahon, this is reported by Variety. Vince McMahon sold $250 million of his TKO shares to WME Group.
He started a new company, too. Didn't we talk about that last week?
14th and Me or 14th and I believe it is. Whatever that means. It's a entertainment company. It's an entertainment company. So that's what he's got going on. And we always have the old Roxanne Perez story, which is all over the internet. That someone is
we do got to call. Well, let's talk about this for a minute because this is serious shit, man.
2 guys were locked up yesterday. Not yesterday, I'm sorry. Tuesday night. One during NXT and one after NXT. He was lurking in the parking lot. Liv Morgan's stalker, which he's been suffering through the past few months, got locked up. And not sure if this other guy was the Roxanne Perez stalker or not. This guy had
no, John.
He had an account on Twitter. Is Rox dead yet?
I'm not giving this guy coverage. I'm not talking about it. I'm just saying
50,000 accounts
on Twitter that's been canceled already.
A countdown where he stated this Friday is going to happen. Adam Pearce was notified about this. And all Adam Pearce said today was what we were talking about. That's all over the news. We're already aware of it. I got the exact thing right here. It's been reported. If you know what I'm talking about, then you know what I'm talking about. Thank you to everyone that made me aware. So it's good to know that Adam Pearce, he's not really a real general manager, but good guy Adam Pearce has stepped in. And hopefully they're getting some extra protection, extra security at the events that Roxanne Perez is going to be at. So that's what we need. Make sure she's safe and sound. The guy even posted her address online. That's how much of a dick
he went all into some crazy shit, man.
What a dipshit. Not good.
Some of these people are sick, man. They have no life, and they think these people really know them and care about them, or they feel scorned for some reason. You're fucking lunatics if you believe this way. Seek help. Talk to somebody. Get better help.
Speaking of lunatics, you remember how they jumped on El Grande Americano and bitched about the fact that they bitched about him.
He's not actually Latino. This is totally ridiculous. And then they did it last night on Collision.
What a racist gimmick, they said. What a racist gimmick. And Los Outrunners made their debut last night.
Yes. Amazing how you didn't hear a word out of that shit, did you?
Not a word was said about it online.
Not a word. So I want to thank everybody again for watching. Please like and subscribe. Hit the notifications button. Super chat is open. If there's something you want to talk about, I want to talk about Raw real quick because there's one thing that I'm noticing. Cena's awesome. When he comes out, I can't hear his music bottles other than like the first two licks of the notes. It explodes. It busts my TV. It's insane. It's insane how loud crowds are for him. Yes. Like it's that loud. It's just but you hear the riff and then it's just.
Are you talking about Cena or are you talking about CM Punk? Because you said Cena.
CM Punk. Sorry.
Because I thought, did I fall asleep on Raw?
CM Punk. Sorry,
Cena on Raw. Jesus Christ.
No, but I was senile. I'm going senile. CM Punk, his entrance is insane. You hear the guitar lick. They go crazy. They scream for his promos. It's awesome.
He doesn't even have to get down on one knee, tap his watch wrist. He doesn't even have to say it's clobbering time anymore. They do it for him.
The other part of that, though, is the fans of the IWC, you incel pieces of shit, are like, he's not even in Money in the Bank, and he hasn't won any titles, and he hasn't won the Rumble, and they're just totally screwing him over. He doesn't need any of that shit. That's what happens when you're a superstar. You don't need all the gimmicks. He is at the point now where it's no longer needed. He doesn't have to have it.
Seth Rollins is in Money in the Bank. Don't count on Seth Rollins winning Money in the Bank with CM Punk's in play.
Not a chance.
Not a chance. Money in the Bank is used for, everyone's saying, you got all these people who are these people in Money in the Bank? Who are these people? All these women that are in Money in the Bank, all these new women. Money in the Bank is to elevate a new star.
Yes, that's what it's there for.
That's what it's for. That's exactly what it's there for. To make you a star. And look what it did for Tiffany Stratton.
Right. A year later, she's a champion.
She was a heel, and now they're all cheering her. And she's the champ.
But I did notice that about CM Punk. He, of course, didn't win the Money in the Bank. I said it a couple weeks ago. El Grande Americano was going to win, and he did because they're pushing that gimmick to the moon. There was a big jump angle afterwards where, and this is where I'm going to say this, Jey Uso was getting spread too thin across Raw. He's in too many segments. He's in everybody's shit. He's involved with everybody. It's just too much. Hear me out. It's just too much Jey Uso.
That big match is coming up. I hear you. I agree.
It's too much.
I agree.
They need to rein that in some, bring it back to for just a little bit, bring it on back in, right? Like that's sort of how I feel about it. He doesn't have to be in everybody's segment, man. He really doesn't. Any thoughts on that?
I agree with you 100%. 100%. But who is his next challenger? Logan Paul?
Aren't they in that tag match?
They are in that tag match. But I wouldn't mind seeing Logan Paul beat Jey Uso. And
I'm getting to the point where I fucking want to see it. I'll tell you that much.
I wouldn't mind
just
seeing
to piss off the IWC to the point of just insanity. Watch their heads explode.
At this point in time, I wouldn't mind seeing El Grande Americano take the belt from him.
I'd like to see it too.
Yes.
I'm good with all that. Holy shit. I had one other point I want to talk about with Raw.
Yes.
If you don't like Rhea Ripley, you don't like her, and that's fine. But every time she's on my TV, again, it's like CM Punk's entrance. My speakers want to blow. The crowd goes insane. She's I think she might be the biggest female star they've ever had. And I know that's biting a big chunk out of that apple, but she really might be. I'm dead ass serious. She really might be.
She could very well be. She could very well be. Right now, a strong number 2, Liv Morgan.
Yeah. Which, by
Becky
the way,
Lynch.
Congratulations to her.
Becky Lynch has really fallen by the wayside, but she's on her way out, I would think. Becky Lynch is. I mean, she's a mom, and how long is she going to wrestle? Will she wrestle when she's 45? Who knows?
Well, will she wrestle when the kid goes back to school? Probably not. That's why we were talking about it earlier this year. This feels like a summer run for Becky Lynch, the mom, before her kid goes back to school, which is fine. Get her where you can get her.
And she's doing business the right way, Don. She's elevating a new star. Lyra Valkyria.
So you want to talk about Money in the Bank predictions?
You got the lineup right there. I heard it's only 4 matches.
I do.
Announced so far.
It is only 4 matches. But again, I'm going to say this. Money in the Bank is one of my favorite pay-per-views, PLEs, whatever you want to call it these days.
Sure.
Just because of the chaos that it always ensues. Just because of the constant bitching that comes out of the IWC every year.
Right. I can't believe that my favorite wrestler didn't win. That's some bullshit. I agree. That is bullshit. He's my favorite too. We shouldn't watch anymore.
Then they're there Monday watching. Popcorn in hand, lotion next to him. Jey Uso is the Cliff Clavin of WWE. Okay. Yes.
That's a bizarre analogy, Warrior, but what do you mean by that? Define that. Explain that. We'll put it back up.
By the way, if you don't know who that is, that's the fictional guy from Cheers. He was the postman.
mailman. Yes. Cliff Clavin. Then with
I
Money in
don't
the Bank,
know what that analogy is, but okay.
What I like with Money in the Bank is there's always a spot where someone goes, Jesus Christ, he broke his neck. That guy's dead. That guy right there is dead. It's always that. You would always think someone's... Well, look at Kevin Owens.
Oh, yeah.
With those neck injuries, he may not come back. He might not come back at all.
You know, we just read about that. He has not had surgery yet, and there's apparently no. He really might not come back, like you said. Like that's the glow. I keep seeing that over and over again.
He's taking some crazy bumps, dude, on those ladders and those ladder matches. And then he just hit his neck at the last match with Sammy. Then he just hit his neck on the end of the ring, the ring apron, and everyone thought, "Good Lord Almighty!" Everyone, Michael Cole was saying, "What the hell? Is he alive? What's going on?" He's holding his neck. The doctor's checking on him. I don't think that man will come back because he's been wrestling for 20 years.
I don't think he is either. He's made a lot of money. Why would you put yourself through this anymore? Which, by the way, everybody that's always said WWE has kept him away from his worst instincts. That last match with Sami Zayn showed you why he has the worst instincts of any wrestler ever. Dude just wants to do some stupid shit. Yeah. Probably might be.
Last match. Yeah.
Women's Money in the Bank match is going to get you Alexa Bliss, Roxanne Perez, Rhea Ripley, Julia. Is it Julia? Julia. Naomi, Stephanie Vacour.
She's half Italian, half Japanese. That's the Italian spelling of Julia.
Well, I'd like to give you the American winner of this match, which I think is going to be Stephanie Vacour. She's got the rocket up her ass and she's gone. She's gone.
She's not American. She's Chilean.
I said the American pick.
There you go. Good enough.
I don't know who you got in this. I like it. I do like that we get to see Alexa Bliss. You know what I'm saying? But I'm going to watch this. Stephanie Vacour, who do you got?
I think with Alexa Bliss, you're going to see the Wyatt Six get involved in that whole schmear with Alexa Bliss. And I don't think Alexa Bliss is going to win, of course. She's a big star, big name, doesn't need a Money in the Bank briefcase. Who else do we have? Naomi. Naomi's a strong contender.
She's a strong contender. Yes, I will agree with that.
Do they give it to her for a championship run before she retires to have kids? She just came out in interviews saying that she wants to have a bunch of babies before she gets too old and not able to have one. She wants to have a baby with Jimmy because they have no children of their own.
I think they're using her in the spot that they should. That's just where I am. That's where I am. And I see it, Denisha. We'll talk about Thunder Rosa when we get to it a little bit.
Vacker, Denisha's like... Denisha is always one step ahead of all these shows in the news. She's got her finger in the pulse of everything here. All these different wrestling companies. I agree with you with Stephanie Vacker.
Okay, that's what I
She's
thought.
a superstar. This is a great thing for her. Go ahead.
She's taken off, man. Like she's been since she's come into this company. It's just been All right, she's she's here. Let her go.
Oh, she's down at NXT. She's the women's champ. They beat her. JC Jane beats her. She wrestled. Basically, she was wrestling 3 people. The whole faction was against her. All of a sudden, she's gone. No rematch. She's on Raw now.
Men's Money in the Bank. Solo Sikoa, LA Knight, Penta, Seth Rollins, Andrade, El Grande, Americano. I think CM Punk comes in and screws over Seth Rollins. Penta doesn't get it because El Grande Americano wins it. I don't think Solo wins it because he's already got the U.S. title, right? So why would you be, it would be a first, wouldn't it, to be a holder of a title and have Money in the Bank?
It would. I think Solo Sikoa. He could be a sleeper.
You think they're going to do the first? I could see it being a first, like I'm the first ever to do this. And then that sets up his sort of
first what? What are you talking about?
I'm sorry, not Solo Sikoa. I was thinking about his
You're
cousin.
talking about Jacob Fatu, yes.
Yeah, sorry.
Solo Sikoa doesn't have a belt. I think Solo Sikoa will get a Money in the Bank briefcase, and there's going to create tension. Will he cash in on
now
Cena? Will he cash in on Jey Uso, his brother? That's his brother. Or
I'm talking about
we cash in on Jacob. Yes.
Jacob, yes.
Sorry,
I was getting them confused. SmackDown's just become unwatchable. I have to fast forward the highlights now. I just can't do 3 hours, like I said. I just can't do it.
The booking in WWE.
It's night and day between those two shows.
Well, look, if you took the big stars that you like out of Raw, CM Punk, Rhea Ripley, who you got?
Sami Zayn, I like.
Braun
Breaker, Seth Rollins.
You got Liv Morgan on there. But I would say I don't know, man. I think the booking on both of these, the booking's starting to drag on Raw. The booking's been dragging on SmackDown. It's been dragging on SmackDown. But what saves Raw is the fact that new cartel horse, Pablo with $1.99. Bottles is busting them out. That's right, Pab. The cartel horns.
Thank you for the $1.99. So
I'm getting that installed in my Honda tomorrow. That's that horn.
So yeah, I'm looking forward to this. WWE champ John Cena and Logan Paul versus Jey Uso and Cody Rhodes.
Who you got in this?
Cody Rhodes wins. He pins Cena. So that's your second. That's technically your second. Yeah.
Or will they have Logan Paul pin Jey Uso?
No, I think you go to see
start up a new feud.
Pin on Rhodes.
They could start a new feud there. I beat you with that tag team match, Jay. I would SummerSlam. Me and you.
Possibly, but that's what I'm going with. Lyra Valkyria versus Becky Lynch for the women's IC strap. Becky cannot challenge for the title again if she loses. I'm going to go with Becky Lynch on this. And they have their blow-off match at SummerSlam. That's where I'm going.
Where Lyra wins it back and Becky goes back to driving the kid to school.
Yep. That's where I am. So I'm looking forward to this. The other part I want to talk about real quick, by the way, thank you for watching. Please like and subscribe. Hit that notifications button. We appreciate each and every one of you. We really do.
Absolutely. Love you guys.
But there's like 7 hours of wrestling from WWE this weekend.
It's insane.
I'm going to watch When Worlds Collide. I will admit it's got my attention. I want to see what this is about. I may be there for 10 minutes and say, nah, this is too much flippy dippy shit. I may be there for the full 3 hours. I've never watched that much wrestling in my life. I don't think I'm going to start this weekend. I got a golf tee time, 7:30, so I'll be home in plenty of time. Bottles, I am going to watch this live. What about you?
I think I will too. I'll check it out. It's on at 3 p.m. East Coast time. I'll check that out, and hopefully it's a short show. You've got people doing double duty. You've got El Grande Americano.
Right. No, he is not the same as Chad Gable. He's not the same as Chad Gable.
He's not the same. Did you know there was a guy who had the whole gimmick, the Grande Americano gimmick, and he did not have the tattoo at the base of his neck like Chad Gable has?
Makeup's great.
You really think so? Although he was on Raw. He was on Raw, and the initials on his boots were CG.
Yes, and Chelsea Green said that they were stolen from her locker earlier that night.
Just amazing. Chelsea Green's the goods, man. She's just a freaking goods. She's great. Unbelievable.
Having said that,
Are we going down the rabbit hole now with the?
well, we're not going to be here long. We're not going to be here long. I went into this Fyter Fest last night. We're going to talk about AEW now, so strap in, kids, or get a strap on, whichever way you like it. I'm not here to judge you. Lube yourself up in baby oil and slide on that trampoline of life. This show was in Denver, Colorado, and I could not find any ticket distribution information anywhere. It's nowhere to be found, Bottles, and I went to WrestleTix. I went wherever I could to find it. It's just not out there.
Well, if you
but
couldn't
they said
find
it was sold out. They said it was sold out.
I think maybe about 5 or 6 people were on the hard cam side. That's what I think. I think the hard cam side was empty. But anyway, be that as it may, they're having trouble getting live bodies in seats, even with seat fillers. They're having trouble giving tickets away and getting the people to actually go to the show, the people who get the free tickets. And they're downsizing the arenas that they're going into.
Well, they're not getting out of Texas. They're keeping that Texas state, and they've upped to 20,000 tickets now, and they're barely at, I think, 17,000 when I last checked.
That's amazing that they actually have 17,000 people that bought tickets to that show.
You're telling me. I wouldn't buy. You could give me them sons of bitches. To start the show, Will Ocean Spray comes out to talk to Tony Schiavone, and it's too long. It's just too long. They flash back to Collision where I guess he and Swerve now got beef, and I don't understand what is happening in this whole thing.
At least they did a little vignette to try to explain something, but the way it was mic'd, the sound backstage is still so horrible. Horrible. Ocean Spray had a hat. CP the trucker for $5. Don, hopefully you won't be playing golf with Brian Snitker and you won't have a big lead. It's got to be somebody that Don knows.
I'll tell you what, thank you for that. Yes, I will be playing golf Saturday morning, like I said, but I will be playing with a guy named Brian, but that is not his last name. But that's a pretty big coincidence. Yes, thank you very much, CP.
I think that Ocean Spray, he wore the hat because everybody was ragging on his hair.
The hair, right?
Hair.
It's just atrocious.
Atrocious. And then Tony Schiavone comes out. He's in the middle of the ring with his wig, talking to Ocean Spray. He looked like he had a wombat on his head that was just trying to get away from him. It was horrendous.
Right.
And you can't tell me Tony Schiavone doesn't wear a rug. He wears a rug, dude. It's horrendous. It's not even a rug that someone's actually tried to like tuck in and straighten it up. It's like someone threw this rug on his head and said, "Okay, go ahead, go out there, pal. Here's your glasses." And
this thing,
it's horrible.
This opening segment sucks. And then the next thing I know, Ocean Spray is saying, "I'm going to stop you, Swerve. I'm going to stop you." And then he says, because the worst thing about this company and why it sucks right now is Jon Moxley. Why would you let this guy say the company sucks right now?
And he went like this. He went like this after he said it. It was a long pause, and Schiavone's going, "I hope my check clears." Just holding the microphone.
This dude's killing us.
Dude, I like the fact that this is the way they did it. Schiavone's in the ring holding the microphone for a guy.
Which is how it should be, yes.
Which is how it should be. You don't grab it out of somebody's hand and start talking. He held the microphone for Ospreay. He was there for basically the duration of this debacle. But that's not how you open a show with a man who can't talk.
No.
A mumble-mouthed moron who can't talk. Great talent.
Best part about this,
I wouldn't let him talk. When they brought him in, Callis was his manager. They should just kept Callis as his manager. Go ahead, Don.
The best part about this is he goes, "I would take a bullet for AEW, bro." No one's shooting AEW. It's not a real thing. What the fuck are we talking about here? No one's shooting at them. What the hell is happening? This all happened because Mariah May showed up on NXT and Tony Khan called somebody crying. "Did you see they already brought?" This was dumb. It went nowhere. And then it gets worse because Leo Rush and Action Andretti come out to no pop. No one reacts. Even the guy knows they're coming out, and Ocean Spray looks like, who the fuck are these guys? And they come out like, "We just came from a really long flight, and we're gonna have a fight with you tonight."
Well, first thing, Leo Rush goes, "We just came from a 14-hour flight from Japan."
Why does that
And he
matter?
waited. There's a long pause. Like, he didn't even say it. I guess he expected insert crowd noise here. Insert cheers here.
We knew where you were. Yeah, that's awesome.
They all chanted, shut the F up. Everybody in that crowd chanted, shut the F up. Because, number one, they had no idea who these people were. And if they did, they didn't care. I tell you what, when Tony Schiavone announced Will Ospreay to come down to the ring, there was this large woman behind in the barricade.
I saw.
She was beating on that barricade. She's so excited. She was having an orgasm that Will Ospreay was coming out. Good Lord Almighty.
She was coming unglued. This thing started off hot garbage and ended up a dumpster fire. It just was horrid.
Ospreay's a star. There's no doubt about it, but he needs a manager. Have him say very little. Have him say very
or nothing
little.
at all.
Or nothing.
When you say nothing at all. Mark Briscoe moment. They have him. And then the Cracker Clan comes out. The one guy that Ocean just spray is the reason this company sucks is coming to the ring now, as usual. Coming through the crowd.
First match
coming in like he's Stone Cold Plumber. I don't want to watch this. And in less than a minute, every one of his matches, Bottles, every one of his matches, within a minute, it goes to the floor. Every time.
Every single
one. And it did this time.
Interference, blading, the whole 9 yards. Wheeler Yuta out there looking like another Asian homeless man.
I thought he was a guy from the crowd for a minute. I was like, who the fuck is that guy? I saw the lice jump off of him onto Mark Briscoe. I was like, that's bad.
And Mark
Someone
Briscoe
give
looks
him
like
a
a
hose
homeless
now.
man now. It's a bad look. To open your show with that whole spectacle of the interview and then this match. That Free Willy chick had a brovgasm. Yes, she did, pal. Ashley Chevalier with the $2. from
yes, that is top. That is top rope quality right there.
Yeah. So when you're built like an orca, don't wear stripes. Don't wear horizontal stripes on your clothing like she did. Good Lord Almighty.
She had a brovgasm.
A brovgasm. Yes, she did.
Oh shit. Let me clear my throat.
Mark Briscoe had to get the mop from underneath the ring, the ringside area on her side. That's how wet it was.
This thing went exactly like I thought it was. They go to the outside of the ring 3 times. You knew where this was going. Moxley wins. One of them was going to bleed. For once, it wasn't Moxley, which kind of surprised me. I like Mark Briscoe, man, but I swear to God, it just feels like this guy he's just here to put over talent now. He's one of the most entertaining pieces of this show, and every week it's the same shit.
Every week. He won one match recently, I believe. He beat somebody who I thought he would never beat. I forgot who it was. That's how much it meant to me and to the actual program itself. It didn't mean anything at all.
Thank you again, Ashton Chevalier. Mercedes Moné comes out next. And like I said, this is not going to be a long review because I did bail on this turd bowl quickly. Mercedes comes out, and I got to ask you something.
Yes.
Why does she still have the Owen Hart tournament belt, but the Cowboy gave his up because he said it'll be there again next year? Why is she still
She likes the accoutrements.
Can anybody out there answer me? Does anybody know?
Right now, there's a deer outside shaking its head from side to side.
She's in love with herself.
Of course she is. Of course she is. She felt so devalued in WWE, according to her, that now she is finally being seen for what she is, a champion, a superstar, an innovator in women's professional wrestling. She's got 2 left feet. Someone said online that she looked like a, should I say it?
No.
Don't say it. Okay, I won't say
You can say she's Wigosaurus Rex. I'm not saying that.
Yes, she's
And then she had a steak delivered to her ringside, like we talked about earlier, that looked like someone had thrown it into a fire pit and said, there it is. Eat that shit. Eat it, girl.
I don't understand the point of all that.
No one does.
I don't understand it.
Because the way it ends is even worse, which we're going to get to in a minute, because it's Toni Storm, and here comes her tag team partner,
Japanese stripper Tits McGee. She comes out and does a little stripper dance, which it boggles my mind that people think that she's that much of a superstar.
Look, shake it if you got it, son. That's all I'm saying.
Good Lord Almighty.
These people are already prone to love Japanimation. This is their Right now, this is happening in their real time, and the tarps roll, and the Cheeto sexuals are going electric boogaloo at that moment. Exactly. It's go time, pal. And they're going to face off against the emo twins, Sky Blue and Stevie Nicks.
Stevie Nicks. Oh, makeshift tag team.
Dude,
Has Sky Blue ever spoken on camera? That's what I'd like to know from the chat. Has Sky
I don't
Blue
know what's
ever
going on
spoken? I don't understand it. Why? Well, this is just a match for feelings. That's all it is. Just a match for feelings.
And
Toni Storm wrestled Mira Shirakawa at the last pay-per-view for the title, and she beat Mira Shirakawa.
Now we're tag team partners.
Now we're tag team partners. Now put your face in my tits.
It gets worse. They beat up. Yeah, that's the girl. Tony keeps getting beat up on. They get a late hot tag where Tits McGee tags in Tony. They go through these crazy, stupid spots. And then Tits McGee and Toni Storm have a moment where they're almost going to kiss in the ring. And I could hear the neckbeard down the street from my house screaming at the top of his lungs, "Mom, don't come out there."
Exactly.
This stuck all the way around. Who do you think wins? Want to take a guess? Toni Storm and Tits McGee win. Then they shake their tits in the ring. Toni Storm runs out of there. She gets Mercedes Monet's steak, bites into it, drinks all of her wine. She looks like she's going to choke to death. I'm like, I hope someone there. She could not. It's like, I hope somebody there knows the Heimlich, because this poor girl's going to kill herself in this skit. This was all rotten.
Watching this, the high point of this whole match for me was Luther on the outside. Luther was full. Remember when Damian Sandow was the partner of the Miz, and whatever the Miz did in the ring, Sandow's on the outside doing it. That's what Luther was almost doing outside the ring. I couldn't keep my eyes off of Luther. It was so freaking funny.
I couldn't watch this. That's why I had so little notes. I was like, this is just ridiculous. And then when they did the kissing moment, I was like, wow. Wow.
Yes.
Marco.
Triple H, when you hire Mira Shirakawa, when she's done her contract with AEW, change her name to Tits McGee for all of us.
Yes.
We'll love it. Marco Matacoli, $4.99. Can you see them keeping Mox champ for Ospreay when they go to London? It's been bad for 6 months as Moxley champ. What's another 3 months? You got a good point there. You got a hell of a point there.
I think even
Forbidden
Tony
door.
Khan is like, this is my big show here in Texas this year. I've got to have a major shakeup. Moxley's going to have it for almost a year at that point in time. It'll be what, 7 months, 8 months, something like that. It's time to, it's been time to move off of this shit.
When do you get that belt? November?
Don't remember.
I don't know. But what's it matter? He's had it for 6 months. He's had it for 6 months. He must have got it in November or December. If Marco said he had it for 6 months as Moxley's champ. So all ends July. I could see Hangman winning that belt.
He has to win that belt.
It's the only smart business move. Give the belt to Hangman. Do something with the guy. Make him your main superstar. Try to build the guy up. That's what you need to do. Instead of having them wear Dolly Parton T-shirts and butterfly jeans and drinking beer on the way to the ring.
And come out in electric trucks that nobody's ever heard of, that no cowboy would ever drive on his ranch. Thank you, Marco, very much. Challenger John, are we sure that steak wasn't Charlotte Flair?
By God, that cow had a bigger ass than Charlotte Flair.
I was going to say that's what her ass used to be. That's what they were gnawed on, was her formerly known as Charlotte Flair's ass. Mark K coming in hot, $10.
Someone on Russo and Coach's podcast said Triple H is a mark for the IWC, yet TK changed Tits McGee's music because the IWC complained on X during the match. Yeah, that's right. Begs the question, who's the bigger mark? TK is. You said a mouthful for that $10. Thank you, Mark. Of course TK's a bigger mark. He's been a mark since 2000 when he was on these message boards and on the Observer message board. Yeah.
I don't even think Triple H is aware of social media for the most part. Someone else is running his social media account. Someone else is running. He ain't doing that shit.
Stephanie's probably doing it.
probably. I doubt Stephanie's doing it too, because neither one of them, they're both rich. They don't have the time. Somebody else is running those accounts. They're not tweeting that shit out. They're not going on Insta Snap or Filter Fuck or whatever they got now.
Filter Fuck. It's the snap.
Oh my God.
It's the snap. Good Lord. Filter
Whatever
Fuck.
the hell, pal.
I can see Trump saying, we've got to stop this filter fuck. We got to stop this Chinese filter fuck. We got to close this down.
The Filter Fuck is coming in. It's glorious.
It's glorious. Filter fuck.
It's word of the day, children. But yeah, there's no way you could convince me that Triple H listens to anything that happens on the IWC. He's gone out of his way multiple times to shred people when they have these bullshit reports out there because they hear about them. You know what I'm saying?
Of course.
We've got to get by China.
I think occasionally the man may pick up his phone and make one tweet, maybe once a week. That's what I'm thinking.
Join us live tonight at 7 p.m. That's it. That's the tweet.
Yes.
You know exactly what he's talking about. He's getting to the point. Thank you again, Mark. I appreciate it. There is another Ocean Spray segment on this show where MJF comes in. So they're sort of feeding us some niblets of what they're going to do eventually.
Yes.
They've been building this up the last couple of months. MJF asks about his son, Harry, which then gets Ocean Spray to grab him, which then has the Hurt Syndicate come out to break it up. I like
it was well done.
Serious. It was very well done.
Very well done.
For everybody who says we hate on it, this is the shit that comes off as serious. And guess what? We treat it seriously. This was a good segment of the show.
It worked.
Matter of fact, I thought it was the best segment of the show.
Pretty much, yeah.
The Hurt Syndicate come out. MJF says he wants his belt back, which is cool. I can get with that. He plugs Happy Gilmore too, which I thought was good.
Mm-hmm.
He talked a little bit too long for me, though. I thought it just went a little bit too long for him.
Yes.
Would you agree with this?
Absolutely, I agree with it. It was just a little too much. But you see where they're going. They're laying this, like you said, they're laying the groundwork for the future.
Right, which I like. And then they give a shout out to Mystico, who is going to be coming to the show. So I thought that was kind of weird.
You know who Mystico is?
It's the guy formerly known as
WWF
talent. Yeah, that guy.
Yes.
Thank you again, Mark. We appreciate you, brother. Out comes 3 dick socks is the only way I can describe them. Blue dick sock speaks Spanglish and no one can understand it. Then he goes in full Tito Santana mode, screaming AR, BA. I don't know what is happening at the end of this whole thing. None of this made any sense. I'm sorry.
You had Commander. You had Kevin Knight, who's now in a trios team. Commander and Kevin Knight. And who's the other guy?
The Karate Kid.
Speedball Mike Bam.
Speedball Mike. Speedball said, if you want to fight dangerous guys, I was like, oh my Lord, you did not just call yourself dangerous. You're about as dangerous as Daffy Duck.
Oh,
this cannot be serious. Exactly.
Yes, can't be serious. Then you had Commander go into a long dissertation, which I was surprised they let the man talk. I was shocked by it. He couldn't talk, but
MVP needs to talk more, by the way. MJF's got to cut back a couple of minutes, give that time to MVP. He can say his piece.
Do you see? MJF,
well, you can.
Do you see MJF winning the belt from whoever takes it from Moxley? Hangman versus MJF. MJF gets the belt, and then Lashley wants the belt from MJF, and they throw him out of the Hurt Syndicate.
I do not see this happening anytime soon. I think you're going to see that's what's going to turn them on MJF as he doesn't win a belt. MJF is not in the title picture right now at all.
No.
He's nowhere near it.
No, but
that's a mistake on their part.
He's exchanged words with Hangman Page.
Right.
But now we're sitting here thinking, we're spitballing foreshadowing in AEW, and there's no foreshadowing because there's no continuity whatsoever. So we just have to let it go.
I said, okay, these 3 jackasses are going to fight Roosh, Butos, El Blanco, Masco come out. I'm not watching this shit. I'm out. That's when I changed it for the first time. So I'm not watching this, Max. I'll come back later. I'm not watching anything to do with these 6 jackasses. I have nothing to watch.
The best thing about that match was Roosh slapping the shit out of Kevin Knight.
Imagine
whacked
that.
He smacked that guy, I don't know how many times. Kevin Knight couldn't believe it. There was legit spit flying out of his mouth when he slapped him. It was great.
So I said, okay, I'm back. Adam Copeland is on my TV now. Where the hell did he come from? Nope, I'll come back in a minute. No, not Adam. It was Adam Copeland.
Christian.
No, Adam Christian. No.
Adam Christian.
Somebody else.
Christian Copeland.
Well, I got Christian Cage coming out.
Christian.
I'll tell you, at this point in time, I just didn't give a shit anymore, Bottles. I was coming back and see what was worth the shit. Christian Cage is out there with Nick Wayne, says Nick Wayne will fight somebody. I don't give a shit. And then Max Caster's in the ring. Yeah. And well, look, then Max Caster comes to the ring and I said, no, we're done. We're done. We're still doing the I'm the best wrestler in the world gimmick. I'm done.
It never wins a match. Why are we still doing this? Why are we doing this? I don't understand it. Why it's the worst. The worst. Unless Tony Khan says, let's give everybody an opportunity to go to the bathroom and get a drink and a sandwich, which is what that's good for.
You can roll a doobie, smoke it, and have a beer by the time they get done with their matches. Are so long. I have no interest in any of this, Bottles. I don't.
Awful.
655,000 people watched the first 2 hours, and then it dropped to below 400,000 for the last 2 hours. What does that tell you?
The main event of Collision was a 4-man match. Brody King, Kenny Omega, Mascara Dorada, and Claudio Canoli. A 4-man random match. They just threw these 4 participants into this match and say, here you go, guys. Take 20 minutes. Take a half hour. And when the match was over, I'm slugging through it. I'm going,
I don't know how you did.
Picture in picture. I fast forwarded through it in picture because I don't watch that shit. And I'm watching it, and the show's over. It's stopped recording. I'm going 2 hours and 1 minute. Wait a minute. It's over? That was the main event? That was the main event of Collision. When you've got
you mean
4 hours of content. 4 hours. I'm sorry, of Dynamite. 4 hours of Dynamite. They would have been better served to have it be a 4-hour Collision. 4-hour Dynamite. Leave the word Collision off of it altogether and just let it be a 4-hour Dynamite and have a decent main event, a decent event at 10 o'clock, a decent event at 9 o'clock to get people to watch this shit. Where's Samoa Joe? He's a ratings draw. Where's Samoa Joe?
Well, here's my next question for you. All the women are bitching. Everybody's up WWE's ass about the women's division and how you're not pushing the right girls or this or that. The women are getting infinitely more time on that program in the WWE than they are AEW. The women got like 1 match in this whole thing, didn't they? Or 2 matches.
12 minutes.
Yeah, but 1 match. That
Everyone
was it.
was bitching 12 minutes. That was it. No. You know what I would have done if I was Tony Khan? And this is how stupid he is. I would have trotted out Britt Baker. I would have trotted out Camille. I would have had people come out that you haven't seen in a year or months and months and months. Wardlow. I would have got a hold of Wardlow and put him out there and have everybody go, holy shit, it's Wardlow. And people would stay to watch the show. Holy, Britt Baker's out here? Britt Baker with a microphone just going off, bitching about how she's been treated by AEW. And then someone else comes out. Britt Baker and Camille's a tag team versus 2 random girls in AEW. Why not do that? Why not have a spectacle? NXT did 684,000 people. Yeah. And everyone on that show, all people were talking about on that show was Mariah May's debut. Not billboarded, nothing in advance, nothing leaked out. It was a surprise that everyone enjoyed. And you got to have that in professional wrestling. You've got to have surprises. Remember the old days, Don. We're old. Remember the old days, Don, when all of a sudden the Steiner brothers appeared in WWF.
Right.
From Crockett. They came over to the WWF.
What are they doing here?
What the hell's going on here? What's Lex Luger doing at the Mall of America in WCW? He was just doing WWE programming. Wait a minute. Rick Rude. Rick Rude's on Raw right now. He's also on Monday Night RAW. Remember that?
That was wild. Yeah, that's the
that
wildest
was crazy.
one yet. One with the beard, one
Surprises.
without the beard.
You gotta have surprises, man. You gotta surprise. You gotta shake up your audience. Don't shake up your roster. Shake up your audience.
John falls in love with these guys that no one gives a shit about. He's pushing the Karate Kid to the moon. No one gives a shit about this clown. No one.
They hired Kevin Knight, Kevin the Jet Knight. They hired the Karate Kid, Speedball Bailey. They call the tag team now. They're stuck in a tag team together because they can't get over on their own. They can't get over. So it's called Jet Speed. That's the name of the tag team. They mentioned that last night. Jet Speed. And I noticed last night, Ian Riccaboni.
And now it's our other friend.
Ian Riccaboni was talking more last night than Excalibur. Have you noticed? Did you notice that at all?
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't know if Excalibur was sick. He had a sore throat. I don't know what the deal was. But
I'm sorry. It's just the show
Look,
last night. 90
we've
minutes in, I said, I'm fucking out of here,
Done.
man. I'm
Done.
over this.
We've talked about have Shivani just do interviews on Dynamite, right? Have Ian Riccaboni there as the third guy instead of Shivani. They've done all that.
But they keep the mask goof there, which brings everything down around him. And the other part, I did write down Adam Copeland. I remember why now. I said, where the hell is Adam Copeland? Why is he not around anymore? He's just gone. He showed up for a couple of months, and now he's just gone again.
His body
I don't
can't
understand
handle.
this, man.
His body can't handle a full-time schedule. It cannot. And
We
that's why he's
said
not in
this when he-
WWE.
We said this when he came over. We said, we hope he does well. We don't want him to get hurt, but I don't think this is going to be a good career move. It's initially going to be like, oh shit, I'm invigorated again. I got my own control. A year later, it's like, oh shit, I made a really bad decision. I broke my leg.
But if you're hired by a company where the guy is a fangirl over top of all these old WWE stars, which Tony Khan is, he's a fangirl when it comes to this shit. And you know you're going to be able to get paid $4 million a year.
Right.
For like a 3-year contract, 4-year contract. 16 mil, 12 mil, 16 mil over the course of that contract. That's a nice chunk of change to take care of your wife and all your kids and retire. They can always go back to WWE eventually when a Legends deal.
Whatever that pays. I did
Whatever
want to
that
mention
pays.
one other thing. You were on another guy's show this week, so I want to give him a shout out real quick. Alt Jake Takes On.
Yes.
He's on Twitter. He's got a YouTube channel. Good dude. Really enjoyed talking to him. Bottles was on his show last week. I was expecting a wrestling show when you guys broke out in orchestra talking about concerts. So I was entertained by that. I thought it was fun.
Dude, we talked about everything on that show. We talked about old TV shows, old game shows, wrestling, old wrestling, Crockett, WWF, how I started watching wrestling, and we also talked about movies, music, all that shit. So if
I
you
say
want
all
to-
this to say next week, we think we're going to have him on here. So we might have a special guest to have a 3-way battle go down in here. We'll see how
Three-way?
it goes. Hey, easy, pal. Wrong one. I'm looking forward to having the guy on. So that's where I'm going with that.
All check.
I'm looking forward to the show this weekend. I'm looking forward to watching the wrestling this weekend. I don't know how much I'm able to stand. I want to say the Worlds Collide thing's on YouTube even, isn't it?
You can buy it on YouTube.
Can you buy it
I
on?
don't
I
think
thought it
it's-
was free on YouTube.
I don't think it's a free show. No, you can buy it on YouTube, I believe. But no, Peacock's the only place you can see it.
Are you sure?
Yes. The YouTube is reserved for AEW.
Well, then I will have to check that out and see where it's at because I haven't seen it yet. So
It's on the cock, pal. It's on the cock.
easy, cowboy.
I'm just saying. Worlds
Are
collide,
you getting
pal.
your butterfly pants? Thank you all for watching. Please like and subscribe. We appreciate you all. Until next time, have a good evening. Why?
Do we
Why
have
are
to
you this
go?
way?
Do we have to go?
Why?
Do we have to go?
Till next week, Gordon Soley saying so long from the Sunshine State.